Oh, hello there. You just caught me staring at some of my board games. You know, I really like co-op board games. You've probably noticed by now, a lot of the games that I cover, I tend to like that shared victory or defeat, you and your friends working together towards a goal rather than fighting against each other. I just really like that. And so it seemed a bit strange to me when I realised, looking back at the videos I've done so far, I haven't done anything about the works of Matt Leacock. I figured I should probably do something about that. Pandemic came out about a decade ago, and what you see is kind of what you get. There's not too much to it, and yet there's a lot to it. It's a simple game with depth. You and your friends are going to play as various members of the CDC, playing characters such as the operations expert who can build things, or the medic who can cure stuff. And what are you trying to cure? Well, there's 4 diseases, 4 epidemics that are going on in different regions, all combined, a sort of pandemic, you might call it. And what you need to do is kind of everything. At the moment, you don't know how to cure these diseases. You can just kind of treat the symptoms. You and your people are going to be moving around the board, going from place to place, taking cubes off areas and trying to get cards. You need cards. At the end of every turn, you've got your hand of cards here, and every turn you're going to be drawing some more. So, you know, maybe you'll get, Riyadh. So now I've got the Riyadh card, and it's a black card. So that's good, because to cure any of the diseases, you need all 5 of the same colour. All of the cities in this area have black cards, all the ones in this area have blue cards, and so on, the same areas where the disease are. Makes sense. So you're going to be trying, hoping that just by chance you happen to get all 5 in your hand at a particular time. Because you can only trade a card with another player if you're in that city. And that then's a bit of a balance. I'll get to it in a minute, but you want to get all 5 cards, and that's great, and then you can cure a disease, and the aim of the game is to cure all 4, and then you throw those cards away. Fine. You might also get special event cards that do nice things. So like this one lets you take a card from discard pile and discard it from the game. Why would I want to do that from that discard pile? Well, this is the infection deck over here, and it's bad. You don't like it, because occasionally these epidemic cards come out. See, at the end of every turn, you're going to be drawing some cards from here, which might include one of these, and then you're going to put some cards from here over here and add cubes to that place. So here's one for Manila. But when this comes out, things go bad. First, you move this infection rate marker up, and that means as it goes up, you're going to be drawing more infection cards at the end of each turn. The other thing you do, well, one of 2 other things, is you draw the bottom card. In this case, Tehran. So I'm going to be adding 3 cubes to Tehran. Well, that's terrible. That's really bad. Because then what you do is you take your entire discard pile, shuffle it about a bit. This is some pro shuffling right here. This is proper stuff. And then you put it back on top of the pile. So all these places that have already got lots of cubes on them, they're about to get more cubes. And that's bad, because nowhere can have more than 3 cubes. If St. Petersburg comes out again, I don't just put another cube on St. Petersburg. I put one on every space connected to St. Petersburg and put this outbreak tracker down one. If that outbreak tracker reaches the end, we all lose. If we run out of cubes of any one colour, because they're all on the board, we all lose. If we run out of cards in this pile, we all lose. There's a lot of ways to lose in this game, and only really one way to win. But it makes for a tightrope walk. Tightrope warp? Tightrope walk. Because you as players, you need to kind of keep this level. You need to keep the cubes off the board. Of course you do. Especially because you can get chains of epidemics. Like right here, if I put these here, well, we've got these 3 cubes here and 3 here as well. That's bad. That means if that one outbreaks, it's going to add a cube here and here. And that's going to go up by 1. But then, this is already at max. So what that's going to do is that's going to go up 1 more on this track. And then that's going to add a cube here and here. And now we've got 3 in a chain. And this one's next to both of them. So if any of those come up again, this is going to get pushed up 3, and then that's going to outbreak as well. And we're going to be pretty much losing the game in 1 more card draw. That's awful. So you need to keep those down. But time that you're spending going around all over the globe getting rid of cubes, it's time you're not spending shuffling your cards to the other players to try and get them the sets of all the cards that they need to make the cures. Because if you want to trade the card for Bogota, you both need to be in Bogota. It's great. It's lovely. It's a puzzle. It's a wonderful puzzle. I like this. But the big trick is this mechanic where you put the discard on top of the pile, where it keeps stacking up, keeps accelerating, it keeps the tension high. You've got this ticking time bomb sort of thing of this deck, where if it runs out you die. But here you've got a different sort of timing mechanic, where the later you leave it to do things, the worse it becomes. If you don't win this game early, you may not win it at all. Forbidden Island is pandemic. Not exactly. I mean, it's pretty pandemic-y, to be honest. You and your friends, you're going to be there, you've got a board in front of you, you've got a hand of cards, most of which are going to have symbols on, four different colours of things, and you're trying to get the things. There's these four things, they're all very nice tactile on this board. So on your turn, you're going to be moving around and drawing cards and hoping to get cards that are these things, because you need a set of the same colour to get the thing, and you need to be on a tile that has the same picture, you see, once you've got them, and then you can get the thing. And then once you've got all the things, you go to the helipad and you'll fly off. But every time you draw cards at the end of your turn, draw two cards, you also draw some flood cards. You've got this flood thing that tells you how many cards you're going to get, and as you can probably guess from this, having all these sections, much like Pandemic, you can get, oh no, water rises cards where this goes up. And that's bad, because then you're going to be drawing more cards later, and the cards are the locations on the map. Well, in this case, it's tiles that you put out in random configurations, so a bit more flexibility. And at the start of the game, you turn some over so that, the other way around, and this shows that look, they're flooded, they're underwater, that's why they're all blue now. So that's bad. And you can't go through tiles that are blue water, but you can spend actions to turn them over. And then when you get those water rises cards, you put the ones that you've already discarded on top of the deck, so they're gonna come up again. And it's basically Pandemic again, and that's fine. That's fine actually. Most of the core mechanics are the same. Again, you can get special cards which do special things, and it's got the same tightrope walk where it's all how much time do I spend flipping tiles back over so that we can walk over them, because if something is waterlogged and it comes up again, it disappears. And so that means that as you go through the game, suddenly you're finding that places are gone and areas of the island are getting completely cut off from each other. And worse, if you lose both of the tiles that have the symbol on of a particular item, because there's only two places you can go, lose both of those and you lose. It's game over. And you get stranded, you lose. If you can't get back to the island in time, you lose. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this, by the way. It's a fine game. It's just, if you already have Pandemic, you probably don't need to get this. And if you get this, you probably don't need to get Pandemic. But they're both fine. They're both fine games. And, plus, look at this. It's really nice. It's all shiny and see-through. It's lovely, shiny. It's great. Wonderful. Nice. Forbidden Desert is another Matt Leacock game, and so it has a lot of the same staples that the other games so far have done. You've got a set of characters that each of your friends play as, which have their own unique ability. You're searching a map, looking for things, and once you've got all four of the things, you're good, you're fine, and that's your task. But hold on there, because this game genuinely does its own thing. One thing it does, probably the core, the main gimmick, is that it doesn't have cards. It has cards, but it doesn't have cards in the same way the other games do. You're not fiddling with a hand of cards in your hand the whole time trying to figure out how to move sets of objects around so that you get what you need. In this game, the key to finding what you want is in these tiles. These tiles all look rather similar. Well, mostly. Some of them have little raindrop symbols on that mean they're a possible source of water, and there's the one you start on, which is the helicopter you crashed in the desert on. But apart from that, To find out what's under them, you need to excavate them, which means turn them over, and you see, oh, this one gives me some piece of equipment, so that's great. So then you get an equipment card of a very small deck, actually, which gives you some ability. This one lets you clear sand off location. See all these little tiles here? This is sand. If sand's on an area, you have to dig it up before you can excavate it. But if there's more sand on it, too much sand, it's an obstacle. You can't even move through it as long as it's there. So you really need to be managing sand, because every turn, at the end of the turn, you're going to be drawing cards and bad things are going to happen, obviously. So, like most of them, move tiles around. So this one would actually move that there. And then, oh god, now we've got sand on a helicopter crash. That's bad. And this one, oh no, now moves them down a bit. And oh, there's sand everywhere. It's too much sand. And you don't know which tiles are relevant yet. So you're going to be moving around, spreading around, trying to search the environment. Your fate is a lot more under your control in this game. You're not hampered by not having the right cards. If you have a search pattern and you spread out and find everything, you're going to win. But that doesn't mean it's easy. Also in here, let me see if I can find one. There's sun beats down cards. They're bad. Each of your players has only a certain water supply. You have these little black boxes, little black markers that you put on there to show how much you've got. And every time that happens, you lose one. And if you lose it all, you die. And if someone dies, you all lose. But there's ways around that. Like I said, you can go to water. Some areas possibly have water that you can get to refill your tank a bit. Or there's a water carrier who can move water around pretty well. Or somewhere in here, there are tunnels which you can hide in. See, there's a water supply. Tunnels you can hide in, which also protect you against the sun, but also give you a way of transporting around the map if you find more than one of them. But what you're really searching for are tiles like this, with a symbol of one of the 4 components of your airship on, and either vertical or horizontal lines. When you get both of those, vertical and horizontal, where they meet, that's where your component goes. And you have to get the components and then load them onto your ship. And look at this ship! It's lovely, look, you've got the power supply that goes here, or for storage you can put it that way, which is a nice little touch, you know, and then it's got a little propeller that goes on the back, you know, and you can spin it. If that's not in the way, you can spin it. And then, you know, that goes there, that exists. I think it slots in, there you go. And your engine, you've got to have your engine, that's great. This engine, the wood for this engine actually is like putrid, it's genuinely quite heavy, it feels really nice. And then you get in here, and you get to your place, and after you find your landing pad, because you've got to have somewhere to take off from, and you go whoosh, whoosh, fly. It's great, it's good. But the whole time, as well as sun beating down, you've also got, let me just find one right here, storm picks up, which does exactly what you think it does. So then this track goes up by 1, and oh, now you're drawing 3 cards at the end of each turn instead of 2, and then 4, and then 5, and then 6, and then you just die. You just die, there's too much storm. So this keeps the basic mechanics of a map Leacock game, of walking that tightrope between how much time do you spend clearing the map so that you can move around and do your thing, against how much time do you spend actually trying to achieve your goal and turning things over and trying to look for things. But it does it in a more manageable, more strategic way. Unlike Forbidden Island, the ghost of pandemic doesn't loom over it in the same way. It more sort of peeks over the edge. About a decade after the original Pandemic came out, we got Pandemic Legacy. And it's a game that is so exciting, I can't even show you what's in the box. I can tell you a little bit about it. See, here's the thing, that might surprise you the first time you play, because you're going to pull it out and set it up, and especially if you're familiar with the original Pandemic, you're going to say, I don't know what all the fuss is about. It's the same game. It's the same board, it's the same character, same deck, same mechanics. It's literally identical. In fact, you can play this out of the box as this. There's nothing else there. And you'd be wrong. You'd be wrong about that. I've been known to say that a good board game is like a good film. You know, you take it off the shelf, put it down, and you experience it with your friends, and it's great, and you enjoy it. You talk about it afterwards, and then you put it back on the shelf. And then next time you take it down and bring it out, it's fundamentally the same experience. I mean, maybe you've seen it with new people and they bring new insight to it, or it's just enjoyable to see them enjoy it. Or maybe that you see something in it you didn't see before, some nuance that changes the view, but fundamentally it's the same object. If a good board game is like a good movie, Pandemic Legacy is a cracking TV show. See, here's the thing. This has two mechanics that change everything. I say two because we'll get there. The first is a deck of cards, about yay big, which is your plot. See, this game you play not just once, you play 12 times. Not all in one sitting, obviously, but, you know, in fact you can play up to 24 times, but that's a whole other thing. Anyway, basically each game is a month of the year, January to December. And as you go through this deck, it's going to tell you what you're doing, but it's also going to instruct you to do certain things. There's like some cardboard sheets in there that have all these hidden panels that are just numbers and letters that have something hidden underneath them, but you don't know what yet. There are 8 boxes in here, sealed away, and you don't know what's inside. And I do. I know what some of them are, you know, but not all of them. And as you go through, it's going to be teasing you and letting you open these things. Halfway through the first game, you know, you'll be in a false sense of security, you'll think, well, it's just Pandemic again, and then the rug gets pulled out from under you. You have to draw a card, and suddenly you go, oh it's everything's wrong, everything's changed. And that keeps happening. There's things in this box that completely change what Pandemic is. The second thing, and possibly more important, is that this game has a sense of permanency. In this game where bad things happen, that's bad for that game. You know, if enough bad things happen, you lose. And then, you know, you pack it away and put it back on the shelf, and then next time you pull it out and set the board up, and it's basically the same. The cards are in a different order, but the mechanics are the same. In this game, when bad things happen, that's really bad forever. Your board will be modified. You're going to put stickers on the board which have permanent effects. They're going to stay on there the next time you play, the next time, the next time. The things that have happened in your first game will affect you in your 10th. You know, these are down to the decisions you make. There's your choices have permanent repercussions. And that leads to wonderful choices, because do you take actions that are risky now in order to hopefully prevent a bad thing from happening that's going to hurt you later? Are you willing to put everything on the line to win this game, even if it makes all the later ones harder? You get a lot of tricky choices in this game, and even more so because that permanency also applies to your characters. See, at the end of each game of this, you get to put some upgrades out, and that can be upgrades for the board that make things permanent, or that make diseases easier to cure, or there's upgrades for your characters that let them do things they couldn't do before, give them little benefits. Good. But also, bad things can happen to those characters. They can get scars if they're in the city when it outbreaks, and they have bad effects. They mean that you carry less cards, or you find it harder to cure diseases, or you can't move as much, lots of things. And there's only room on your character sheet for 2 scars. If you get scarred a third time, that character's gone. You rip up the character sheet, you throw it away. You can never play as them again. Everything you've invested in that character is lost. This is fantastic. No game that I know has gotten the players as invested as this, in wanting to play it again and again and again, to see what happens next, and to think back at the things you've already done, and oh no, you know, I can tell you certain things that we've done in this game. This is my copy of this, and we haven't finished it yet, but already bad decisions from early on are adding up and causing a problem. Half of the planet is in a real state at this point, and the games are just getting harder. Meanwhile, I've got another game I'm playing with someone else, and things aren't in as dire straits, but we also don't have some of the victories we've had in this one. We're taking 2 different paths. This is a game that's going to give you history. This is a game that where I've heard of many people, when they've completed it, framing the map and putting it up on the wall. And I think that's a damn good idea. Pandemic Legacy adds something, well, a lot new to this, because I'm just talking about the meta mechanics, the way it changes the mechanics. Because the game that you play 4, 5, 6 months in on this game is fundamentally different from this. A lot of the same core is there, but by that point you've had so many different things surrounding it that has changed the nature of what it is. It's glorious. It's glorious. This, I'm not sure I'd recommend this as a game to play as a gateway game for new players. You know? Actually, maybe I would, because, as I said, the first game of this starts off as just Pandemic, and Pandemic is a damn fine, simple, easy to learn game. In fact, I'm changing my mind as I speak, because this game starts off that way and adds mechanics on, piece by piece. I mean, by a few months in, it's going to be quite complex, but each individual element's been introduced to you piecemeal, you know? You're never having to use something until you're kind of comfortable with everything that's come beforehand. Actually, Pandemic Legacy might be an amazing gateway game. I need to think about that some more. But I'll tell you this, it's an amazing co-op game, and if you have some friends who are willing to spend, some time together, put some time, every week or every month or whatever, to sit down with this, you really will not be disappointed. Anyway, there you go. That's my look at the games of Matt Leacock. Not all of them, but with a shared kind of mechanic. These all have similarities, but they all have their own individual charms. And they're all amazing co-op games. Probably the best co-op games there are in gaming at the moment. Yeah, that's a controversial statement. I'm sure someone will correct me. Anyway, take care. Goodbye.